Hey everyone, welcome back to One More Thing. My name's Jeff and I'm here with Pastor Eric. And this past Sunday he talked about more ways that we can worship God.
Yeah, so one of the things that I think about is the word love. Love is really the starting place of worship. Whether you worship anything, you have a love for something, that's where you tend to start worshiping that thing or putting it in a place of being special. And so 1 Corinthians chapter 13 talks about love, and as we talk about love, we find out the real definition of love. And of course in 1 John we realize that God is love. So real love is not an attraction, it's a choice, it's a decision that we make, and it's something that we put in a high place or a high priority, that we build that up. And that's really where worship starts. So this idea of kind of, we hear the word thrown around a lot in our culture of, hey, I love this, hey, I love that. Real love is something that we create and make it special. And then we start putting our attention to it. And then it becomes less about us and more about the thing that we love. And if we put God where he should be, then we love him and we care for him. We make that choice to sacrifice things for him. We desire and want to grow closer to him. We want to spend more time with him. And that's true when we love other things too. I mean, you can see that if you love a certain sports team, you put your dedication there. It becomes more about the team than it does about you. And again, it goes back to my thought too, is that, isn't it interesting, the message title was, we were made to worship. And that is so true. We were created to worship. We are worship creatures. We love to elevate things, whether it's an actor or, a musician or a sports team. I'm not saying that's necessarily bad, but I think it's important for us to recognize, hey, I was created. And the ultimate one I should be worshiping is God himself. And I need to lift him up and put him in his place and put him in the right spot to where he's got my attention and I care about him.
Well, what's some more, can you tell us some more specific ways that we can use our daily lives as worship towards God?
Well, I think, just like in relationships, if you're in a healthy relationship, you spend quality time. And so that would be one thing I'd say is that, are you spending quality time with God? You could also look at the 5 love languages, and I guess if we looked at God, and if he truly is, God is love, then how do I love God in this 5 ways? So if we talked about the 5 love languages, how do I spend quality time with him? How do I give him gifts or offerings or sacrifices to show them that I'm committed to this relationship? And because he does for us, right? I mean, him dying on the cross was a great sacrifice to make a statement that I love you. The other ways is, spending in, doing acts of service, doing things that that God's going to be pleased with by doing things to help others or care for other people. Again, it goes back to loving God and loving others. And then, of course, words of affirmation. I mean, we need to lift up praise to him and give him thanks. And to give him give him gifts, to spend quality time, acts of service. Did I hit them all? Pretty close. So. Maybe I missed one. If I missed one, probably. Put it down and say, hey, Eric, we've got 4 and we didn't get 5, so I'll correct that. But I think I hit them all.
All right. Yeah, that's really good. Yeah, I think especially, the mainly thing is spending more time is a big thing for a lot of people, is because our lives are so busy now, especially this digital age where, our distractions are everywhere. I think sitting down in time is one of the biggest ways you can just sit down and just rest and worship that way.
Yeah, and quality time is a unique thing in itself because, I can spend time doing stuff, but am I really spending quality time?
Right.
I can listen to people, but am I really paying attention? That's why in marriage counseling we talk about repeating back certain parts of what you heard, so it communicates to your partner, okay, I understand where you're coming from. Because a lot of times we can hear people, but we don't really listen. Right. We don't really take in what they're saying.
Yeah. And I've always thought that there's 2 things that, even no matter what you say, there's 2 things that kind of show where your desires are, and that's how you spend your time and how you spend your money.
Yeah.
And there's 2 things that don't lie. Wherever you spend your time, that's where your desires are, and where you spend your money, that's also where your desires are.
Definitely true, and we got to watch for those things. is God, again, the first commandment is to love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul. Does he have that prominent place, or other things, as many times for all of us, are other things creeping ahead of God instead of God being number one in our life?
So what do we have coming up this Sunday, do you know?
Well, we got Celebration Sunday, which is a great Sunday for us to celebrate. We're having baptisms. We'll have video testimonies. Just a lot of time for us to get together. We'll have one service combined at 11 o'clock. And it's just a time for us to come as a church together to celebrate those people that have made the choice to be baptized. And we'll have communion together. So it's a time to celebrate. It's a time to thank God for what we've seen and how God's working in the life of Porterfield as a church, and to celebrate those lives that have made a difference.
All right, well, y'all make sure to join us then, and thank you for joining us now. See you next week.